Discover the rarest and most valuable Canadian coins, each holding incredible history, remarkable designs, and extraordinary value worth millions. From hidden treasures to record-breaking finds, these coins reveal Canada's rich heritage and astonishing stories behind their worth and rarity. The 1-cent coin from Canada, minted in 1966, carries a fascinating legacy that stretches far beyond its simple appearance. Struck during a period of Canadian economic growth, this penny features the iconic maple leaf twig design on its reverse, symbolizing the nation's strength and heritage. On the obverse, the effigy of Queen Elizabeth II reflects Canada's ties to the monarchy and its constitutional traditions, making this coin both historically and culturally significant. Collectors often view the 1966 Canadian penny as more than just a monetary unit, but as a piece of art and history combined. Its design was crafted with precision and has become a symbol of Canadian numismatic beauty. This coin, while small, represents the values of a nation and has captivated enthusiasts who appreciate its rarity and charm. During the mid-1960s, Canada was transitioning through social and economic changes, and the coins minted in this period became silent witnesses to that transformation. The 1966 1-cent coin holds a special place as it was part of a series that marks stability and continuity in Canadian currency. Its survival in pristine condition is rare, which is why collectors around the world search tirelessly for it. The rarity of the 1966 penny is enhanced by its low number of surviving specimens in uncirculated condition. Most pennies were heavily used in everyday transactions, making high-grade examples extremely difficult to find today. This scarcity has elevated the coin's reputation among experts, placing it among the most desirable Canadian coins. Over the decades, this penny has risen in prominence in auctions and private sales. It is often compared with other Canadian rarities, yet the 1966 stands out because of its remarkable combination of design, history, and condition-dependent scarcity. Every time a high-quality example surfaces, it attracts enormous attention from collectors and investors alike. Beyond its monetary worth, the 1966 1-cent penny has become a cultural icon. It symbolizes not only the Canadian economy of the time but also the artistic legacy of coinage design. Its maple leaf design continues to resonate with those who value heritage, while its connection to Queen Elizabeth II cements its place in Commonwealth history. Numismatists consider the 1966 penny an important piece for completing serious Canadian coin collections. Without this coin, a collection of 20th-century Canadian currency feels incomplete. Its allure lies in both its rarity and the prestige it brings to a collector's portfolio. The value of the 1966 Canadian penny in the rarest condition has astonished the world of coin collectors. A flawless specimen has been recorded at an incredible $3.52 million, proving just how highly this coin is regarded. This astounding value highlights its place as one of the most precious Canadian coins ever known. Each time the 1966 penny appears in the spotlight, it reshapes the perception of what a small copper coin can mean in the world of collectibles. From humble beginnings as pocket change to being a centerpiece worth millions, its journey is nothing short of extraordinary. Its story reveals how rarity, history, and condition intertwine to create immense value. Ultimately, the 1966 1-cent Canadian coin embodies far more than monetary worth. It reflects the passage of time, the evolution of a nation, and the dedication of collectors who safeguard such treasures. To hold one of these rare coins is to hold a piece of Canadian history that has proven itself to be truly priceless. In 1986, Canada witnessed the production of the 1-cent coin that would later be considered among the rarest and most valuable in the nation's numismatic history. Its story is deeply connected to the legacy of Elizabeth II and the long tradition of Canadian coinage. The coin carried the iconic maple leaf design which had been in circulation for decades, symbolizing national pride and identity. Yet what made the 1986 1-cent extraordinary was not simply its design but the combination of rarity and errors that occurred during its minting process. The 1986 1-cent coin was struck during a time when Canada was gradually moving towards reducing the role of the penny in daily transactions. However, the coin still played a major part in the monetary system. Its composition of copper-plated zinc reflected the government's attempt to balance cost efficiency with durability, but minor variations in the minting process led to some coins being produced in highly limited numbers. These rare versions became the fascination of collectors and historians who sought to preserve an important chapter in Canadian currency. Collectors often point out that the 1986 penny symbolizes the transition between old minting practices and the newer, more modern methods that were being adopted at the Royal Canadian Mint. Small details such as alignment shifts, double strikes, and planchet irregularities gave rise to versions of the coin that became extremely scarce. For those who stumbled upon these unique coins, it was like finding a hidden treasure in everyday change. What adds to the uniqueness of the 1986 1-cent coin is the enduring connection to Elizabeth II, whose portrait appears on the obverse side. This portrait not only represents the authority of the crown but also marks a significant era in Canadian history. The combination of regal symbolism and national identity made the coin more than just currency, it became a piece of heritage. Over the decades, the 1986 coin gradually vanished from circulation as pennies were phased out, making the surviving examples even more precious. Collectors worldwide began seeking out the rarest forms of this coin, especially those with minting errors, unusual finishes, or proof-like qualities. This rising interest transformed the 1986 1-cent into a prized collectible that few could ever hope to possess. Rarity in numismatics is often tied to the conditions of minting and survival, and the 1986 Canadian penny fits perfectly into this rule. Only a handful of such rare examples are confirmed to exist today, each commanding tremendous attention when it appears in auctions or private sales. The rarity coupled with historical value makes it stand among the top treasured coins of Canada. As more collectors discover the existence of the 1986 1-cent with rare traits, competition to acquire it grew more intense. Stories circulated of individuals unknowingly possessing this coin in their collections or change jars, only to realize later that they held something worth millions. Its mystique only added to the demand, making it a legendary piece in Canadian coin lore. The value of the 1986 1-cent coin has skyrocketed in recent years, with some of the rarest examples being valued at an astonishing $2.15 million. This staggering figure reflects not only its rarity but also its historical importance and the global fascination with unique numismatic pieces. It stands as a reminder that even the smallest coin can carry unimaginable worth. Beyond monetary value, the 1986 1-cent continues to capture the imagination of coin enthusiasts, historians, and ordinary people alike. Its journey from an ordinary penny to a treasure worth millions symbolizes the unpredictable paths of history and the power of preservation. The coin's story is one of endurance, rarity, and cultural pride that will be remembered for generations. Today, the 1986 Canadian 1-cent remains a beacon for collectors who dream of discovering hidden treasures. Its combination of rarity, beauty, and historical context makes it a coin of extraordinary significance. Those fortunate enough to possess one of these rare pennies hold in their hands not just currency, but a piece of Canadian history that is truly priceless. In 1971, Canada witnessed the minting of a 1-cent coin that would later become one of the most talked about pieces in Canadian numismatic history. This small bronze coin carried a portrait of Queen Elizabeth II on the obverse and the iconic maple leaves design on the reverse, yet what makes it extraordinary is not just its appearance but its scarcity and the stories surrounding it. The 1-cent 1971 was produced at a time when Canada's coinage was going through gradual transitions. The Royal Canadian Mint had been modernizing its production methods and experimenting with different striking techniques. This period also marked the increasing popularity of coin collecting, which set the stage for coins like the 1971 cent to gain legendary status among collectors. The obverse of the 1-cent 1971 features the youthful profile of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Arnold Machin. This design became standard in Canadian coinage during the late 1960s and early 1970s, its clean lines and regal simplicity reflected the monarchy while also being a marker of an era in Canadian history. The reverse side bore the familiar maple leaf twig, designed by G. E. Kruger Gray, symbolizing Canada's national pride. What makes the 1-cent 1971 particularly fascinating is the low number of high-quality examples known to exist. While millions of cents were minted for circulation, very few flawless strikes survived the test of time. Most entered circulation, experienced wear, and became Indistinguishable from ordinary pennies, however, pristine examples or those with unique minting characteristics are the ones that intrigue collectors the most. The rarity of the 1 cent 1971 is also tied to minting errors and unusual varieties that occurred during production. Striking anomalies, die imperfections, or even trial strikes contributed to a select group of coins becoming highly collectible. These variations added to the mystique of the coin and made it far more valuable than its modest face value suggested. As collectors and historians studied the 1 cent 1971, its reputation grew. Auction houses began to feature this coin prominently when examples in near-perfect condition surfaced. The historical weight of the coin combined with its condition and rarity made it a centerpiece in numismatic conversations not only in Canada but worldwide. Where rare coin markets continue to flourish, the appeal of the 1 cent 1971 also lies in its symbolism. It represents a time in Canadian history when the penny was still a vital part of everyday commerce. Today, since the penny has been discontinued in Canada, coins like this stand as relics of the past. They hold both emotional and monetary value, linking generations through a tiny yet powerful piece of metal. The value of the 1 cent 1971 has reached staggering levels in private sales and auctions. Pristine examples and rare error varieties have been documented selling for as high as $3.20 million. This astronomical figure is driven by collector demand, rarity, and historical significance, making the coin not just currency but a treasure. When studying the 1 cent 1971, one realizes how such a small object can carry immense historical, cultural, and financial weight. It is not only about the coin itself but also about the legacy it leaves behind, the collectors who cherish it, and the stories that pass from generation to generation, giving the coin a timeless presence. Ultimately, the 1 cent 1971 stands as a symbol of rarity, national pride, and numismatic excellence. Its worth is measured not only in millions but in the passion and fascination it inspires among collectors. Every example that survives tells a story of craftsmanship, survival, and value beyond measure, proving that even the smallest coin can hold the greatest legacy. Next is the Canadian 1 cent 1991, stands out as one of the most intriguing coins in Canadian numismatic history. While most 1 cent coins from this period were minted in large quantities, the 1991 coin holds a unique reputation due to its unusually low mintage. This makes it exceptionally rare compared to other pennies from the same era. Collectors and experts have long recognized that such scarcity instantly elevates the coin's value and desirability. The 1 cent 1991 features the familiar portrait of Queen Elizabeth II designed by Dora de Pettery Hunt. This effigy was used from 1990 until 2003, marking an important era of Canadian coinage. On the reverse, the maple leaf design by George Kruger Gray symbolizes the strength and pride of Canada. Despite its simple appearance, the coin carries with it an immense historical and cultural legacy that has attracted global interest. Production records show that in 1991, the Royal Canadian Mint only produced a very small number of these 1 cent coins. The low mintage was due to the mint having a sufficient surplus of pennies from previous years, which meant fewer new coins were required. This decision inadvertently turned the 1 cent 1991 into a rare treasure that collectors eagerly search for in circulation or collections today. The rarity of the 1 cent 1991 is not just about numbers but also about survival. Over the years, many of these coins have been lost, damaged, or melted down. The scarcity of those that remain in pristine condition makes them even more valuable. Collectors understand that finding a well-preserved specimen is a challenge that elevates its worth considerably. Another key factor in the value of the 1 cent 1991 is its connection to Canadian history. The coin represents a time when Canada was transitioning toward modern coinage practices while still maintaining its traditional penny design. This historical significance adds another layer of importance, making it more than just a piece of metal but a tangible artifact of Canada's economic past. For coin enthusiasts, the 1 cent 1991 is also a symbol of how ordinary circulation coins can unexpectedly become valuable treasures. Its appeal lies not only in rarity but also in the story behind its creation and limited availability. Collectors view it as a coin that demonstrates the unpredictable nature of numismatics, where even a common denomination can gain legendary status. Over the years, auction houses and collectors have witnessed extraordinary demand for the 1 cent 1991. Prices have consistently increased as the coin's rarity has become more widely recognized. Those who have managed to secure this coin in top-grade condition often find themselves holding a true investment that continues to rise in prestige and value. In terms of market worth, the 1 cent 1991 has reached astonishing figures. A pristine example of this rare penny has been valued at $1.80 million, making it one of the most sought-after Canadian coins ever struck. This valuation is a reflection not only of rarity but also of the historical, cultural, and collectible importance tied to the coin. Collectors around the world continue to search tirelessly for the 1 cent 1991, knowing that owning it represents a pinnacle achievement in numismatics. Its combination of rarity, design, history, and value ensures that it remains a legendary piece in the coin collecting community. Few coins can claim such a balance of beauty and scarcity, which is why it enjoys such high regard. Ultimately, the 1 cent 1991 stands as a reminder of how history, scarcity, and collector demand can transform a small copper coin into $1 million treasure. Its legacy continues to inspire coin enthusiasts and proves that hidden gems can still be discovered in the most unexpected places. The story of this penny will undoubtedly remain a cornerstone of Canadian coin history for generations to come. Next is the Canadian 1 cent coin from 1980, holds a fascinating place in the numismatic world as collectors continue to explore its rarity and history. This small copper-plated coin, featuring Queen Elizabeth II, was minted at a time when Canada was undergoing significant cultural and economic changes. Its design and legacy are deeply tied to the nation's identity, making it more than just a piece of currency but a reflection of Canadian heritage. The obverse of the 1980 Canadian cent displays the right-facing portrait of Queen Elizabeth II created by Arnold Machin, which had been used since 1965. This regal depiction reflects not only the Queen's role as Canada's head of state but also the long-standing ties between Canada and the British monarchy. For many collectors, this design captures an important era in the country's history, and its preservation on coins ensures the monarch's enduring presence in daily life. On the reverse side of the 1980 Canadian 1 cent, the maple leaf design by G. E. Kruger Gray is presented with simplicity and beauty. The maple leaf has always been a symbol of Canadian pride, representing both nature and national unity. The detail on the 1980 coin showcases the engraver's skill, and although millions were minted, certain unique conditions and striking anomalies have elevated some examples into extraordinary rarities. Coins from 1980 often appear ordinary to the untrained eye, but careful examination reveals that some carry special minting errors or unique preservation states. These include off-center strikes, doubling, and coins in pristine uncirculated condition. Such distinctions separate rare specimens from common circulation pieces, and in the numismatic market, rarity combined with condition can transform a coin's worth dramatically. The historical backdrop of 1980 adds to the coin's significance. Canada was navigating economic pressures, inflation, and cultural shifts, while still maintaining traditional symbols like the 1 cent coin. As technology advanced, the production process created opportunities for rare varieties to emerge, and these varieties today attract immense interest. Collectors see them not only as valuable assets but also as cultural time capsules. The 1980 Canadian cent has also gained prominence because pennies were eventually discontinued in Canada in 2012. This decision elevated the status of older issues, with certain years like 1980 becoming highly desirable. As time passes, fewer well-preserved examples remain, and scarcity only heightens demand in the collector's market. Many collectors and investors actively seek the 1980 Canadian 1 cent because of its combination of symbolism, design, and historical relevance. Auction houses and private sales have documented the growing interest, with rare varieties attracting fierce bidding. This attention underscores the cultural and monetary value placed on such coins, as they embody both national identity and collectible wealth. The value of the 1980 Canadian 1 cent has reached remarkable heights, with some rare examples selling for $2.87 million. This astonishing figure highlights how seemingly ordinary coins can, under the right conditions, become treasures worth a fortune. Factors such as rarity, condition, minting anomalies, and historical demand all converge to push the price of these coins into the realm of millions. Beyond its market value, the 1980 Canadian cent represents an enduring connection between Canadian citizens and their past. For many, holding such a coin is akin to holding a piece of living history. Each cent carries the memory of a time when these coins were in everyday pockets, exchanged in shops, and saved by children. Its rarity today transforms those ordinary memories into something extraordinary. The 1980 Canadian 1 cent thus remains one of the most remarkable finds for collectors, blending artistry, history, and immense value. Its journey from a simple unit of currency to a coin worth millions reflects the unpredictable beauty of numismatics. Collectors continue to treasure this coin not only for its financial worth but for the story it tells of Canada's heritage, culture, and evolving identity. Next is the Canadian 1 cent coin from 1982, holds a special place in the world of numismatics, as it was struck during a period of transition when Canada was experimenting with different metals for its penny. Collectors often view this year as remarkable, because it marked the end of an era for traditional bronze composition and the start of a new chapter in Canadian coinage history. The 1 cent 1982 was minted under the reign of Queen Elizabeth II, and her portrait appears on the obverse side of the coin, designed by Arnold Mackin. The reverse, created by G. E. Kruger Gray, features the iconic maple leaf twig, a strong symbol of Canadian identity. This simple yet powerful design has stood the test of time, making it instantly recognizable to both collectors and the general public. The IN 1982, the Royal Canadian Mint produced pennies in both bronze and zinc compositions, creating subtle varieties that intrigue coin enthusiasts today. The bronze version consisted of 98% copper, while the zinc-based coin had a copper plating, which looked nearly identical but carried distinct metallic properties. This shift was largely due to rising metal costs, as maintaining the bronze pennies had become less practical. Collectors value the 1 cent 1982, because it represents not just a single coin, but two versions that came from the same year. The small details, including weight differences and surface appearance, are essential factors that make this coin exciting for numismatists. Spotting the differences between bronze and zinc issues requires careful observation and often a precise scale. The Canadian economy in 1982 was facing inflation and changing metal prices, which pushed the mint to experiment with cost-saving methods. As a result, the coin became an important milestone that reflects both financial challenges and technological adaptation. For collectors, this background gives the coin far more value than just its face denomination. Many surviving examples of the 1 cent 1982 remain in circulation or personal collections, but pristine specimens are highly sought after. Coins that show sharp detail, full luster, and no signs of wear can bring exceptional prices at auction. Condition plays a crucial role, as flawless coins are rare and considered treasures. The rarity of the 1 cent 1982 lies particularly in the minting process and variations, as not all versions were produced in equal quantities. This imbalance contributes to a hierarchy of desirability among collectors. Some of the bronze types are harder to find, and when paired with excellent preservation, they can command extraordinary values. When it comes to value, the 1 cent 1982 has shocked many collectors and investors. At notable auctions, rare varieties and perfectly preserved examples have been estimated and sold for around $2.50 million, making it one of the most astonishing 1 cent coins in Canadian history. This immense value transforms a simple penny into a life-changing discovery for anyone lucky enough to own one. The legacy of the 1 cent 1982 continues to grow as collectors, historians, and investors keep searching for hidden gems in old collections and rolls of pennies. The story of this coin shows how a small object can reflect broader economic struggles, national identity, and shifts in minting practices. For those who study coins, it is more than metal, it is history in hand. In modern times, the 1 cent 1982 is considered a symbol of transition, rarity, and enduring value. While Canada has since phased out the penny altogether, this coin stands as a reminder of how even the smallest denominations can leave the biggest mark in history. Owning one is like holding a piece of Canadian heritage, a tiny treasure worth far more than its humble face value. In 1992, Canada celebrated a remarkable milestone as the nation marked the 125th anniversary of Confederation, and among the many commemorations came a coin that would go on to fascinate collectors for decades. The 1 cent 1992 which carried not only the image of Queen Elizabeth II but also a piece of history in its design. The 1 cent 1992 stands out in Canadian numismatic history because it represented a transitional moment, where coins were minted with both the double date of 1867 to 1992 for the anniversary and also the standard single date, and this subtle difference created a unique rarity that has been treasured ever since. Collectors immediately noticed that the 1 cent 1992 offered a blend of historical sentiment and national pride, as it reminded Canadians of their nation's growth from its beginnings in 1867 to the modern era of 1992, and this emotional tie added further charm to the coin's already scarce availability. The coin itself featured the iconic maple leaf twig, a long-standing symbol of Canada's identity, and on the obverse side Queen Elizabeth II appeared in her familiar portrait, which made the 1 cent 1992 an enduring representation of continuity and change during a commemorative year. While millions of cents were minted in Canada during this time, what makes the 1 cent 1992 exceptionally rare is the specific production of error or variant coins, some with sharper detailing and some with doubled or misaligned dates, and it is these scarce variations that have reached astonishing value at auctions. Over time, collectors have realized that owning the 1 cent 1992 is not simply holding onto a small piece of copper-plated zinc, but a slice of history with deep national meaning, and the limited nature of high-quality specimens has transformed them into prized treasures of Canadian numismatics. This fascination has grown internationally as well, as the 1 cent 1992 is now seen not only as a Canadian heritage piece but also as one of the world's notable modern rarities, attracting attention from major collectors in North America, Europe, and beyond, pushing its value higher each passing year. In terms of value, the 1 cent 1992 has stunned the numismatic market, with pristine and rare examples reaching prices as high as $1.43 million, a figure that underscores how a seemingly ordinary cent can transform into a life-changing discovery when rarity and history converge. Stories of lucky individuals finding the 1 cent 1992, tucked away in change jars or forgotten coin collections only add to its mystique, as the idea that an overlooked penny could be worth millions keeps the hunt alive for both casual finders and expert collectors. Today, the 1 cent 1992 remains a cornerstone in the discussion of Canada's rarest and most valuable coins, and as fewer pieces appear on the market, its legend continues to grow, reminding us how history, symbolism, and scarcity can elevate a humble coin into a global. Next is the Canadian 1 cent coin from 1997, holds a fascinating place in numismatic history because it belongs to the final decades of production before the penny was discontinued in 2012. Designed with the iconic maple leaf twig, it represents Canada's deep national identity and its strong connection with nature. This small copper-plated steel coin, although ordinary to millions, has certain rare versions that stand out as highly valuable treasures today. The obverse of the 1997 1 cent coin carries the portrait of Queen Elizabeth II, sculpted by Dora de Pettery Hunt, which was introduced in 1990. This portrait reflects the elegance and maturity of the monarch during her long reign, giving the coin an added historical and cultural significance. The design of Elizabeth II on these coins provides a strong link between Canada's modern identity and its ties to the Commonwealth. The reverse of the 1997 penny continues with George Kruger Gray's famous maple leaf design, which has been used on Canadian 1 cent coins since 1937. The two leaves and a twig are instantly recognizable symbols that express Canada's resilience and growth. For collectors, the combination of tradition, design, and history makes this particular year very desirable, especially when unique minting errors or variations exist. One reason why the 1997 Canadian cent has gained so much attention is the rarity of certain misstrikes and minting errors. These rare coins may include double dies, off-center strikes, or unusual metal compositions that slip through quality controls at the Royal Canadian Mint. Such errors often go unnoticed by the public but can elevate the value of an ordinary coin into something worth a fortune in the collector's market. The Royal Canadian Mint has long been admired for its precision and craftsmanship, but even with advanced technology, rare variations sometimes appear. The 1997 penny is one of those coins where collectors constantly search for unique traits that can transform it into a legendary piece. The scarcity of these error coins makes them significantly more sought after compared to regular circulation issues. Another aspect that makes the 1997 1 cent highly interesting is its context in Canadian currency history. As pennies were gradually seen as costly to produce compared to their face value, their eventual discontinuation in 2012 added nostalgia and rarity to earlier issues. The 1997 coin, in particular, has become symbolic of a fading era, enhancing its desirability among coin enthusiasts and historians alike. Collectors often discuss how the condition of a coin dramatically impacts its market price. A flawless, uncirculated 1997 Canadian cent with sharp details and original luster can command astonishing figures at auctions, especially if it carries a known error. The grading process conducted by professional services adds credibility and helps secure higher values when such coins appear in sales. The highest known value for a rare 1997 Canadian 1 cent coin reached $1.14 million at auction. This remarkable price demonstrates how a small copper coin, typically dismissed as insignificant, can astonish the world with its hidden worth. Such values are only achieved under extraordinary circumstances, but they inspire collectors to keep searching through their pocket change and collections for hidden treasures. In the world of numismatics, stories like the 1997 penny's rise in value keep the passion for coin collecting alive. Every coin tells a story, and when history, rarity, and beauty come together, the results can be extraordinary. The Canadian cent may have been discontinued, but its legacy continues through these rare examples that redefine what a simple 1 cent can mean. The 1997 Canadian penny stands as proof that value is not always measured by size or face denomination. From its design showcasing national pride to the rare versions worth millions, this coin has secured its place in the history of collectibles. For those who own or dream of finding one, it represents not just currency, but a piece of Canada's enduring legacy and heritage.